Welcome back to Wisconsin Brewing Company Park for another DockHaus Dialogue with Dom, another DockHaus night here at the DockHaus in the Baird Wealth Management Club. Dominic Stearn with Robbie Tenerowicz tonight. Robbie is one of the corner infielders. Also, we'll talk about a little sneak peek of what another role he could be utilized in for this upcoming 2025 season that he'll be in. But Robbie, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I know that it's a lengthy commute for you to get back to Oconomowoc from where you're staying in Milwaukee, but thanks for joining me tonight.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
And Robbie, a little pulling back of the curtain, he signed with the DockHounds last year and was only here for one day, and then he got re-signed back to a Major League affiliate to the San Diego Padres. But we know that you're very excited to actually be able to suit up for the DockHounds. What is you so excited to play here in Lake Country?
Well, I live here now, so I get to live at home with my wife, my two dogs. No more long distance during the season, so I'm excited to be around my family and play in front of them a lot.
And we know that the dimensions of Wisconsin Brewing Company Park really stood out to you. That one day you were peppering the ball all over the yard. Is that also another thing that you're super excited for?
Yeah, the last two longest stints I had were in San Antonio, which is a giant park, and Arkansas, which is another huge park. So I'm excited for little friendlier outfield dimensions for sure.
It's a very hitter-friendly league here in Oconomowoc, and you've been able to come to the cages, work with our coaches, and work with some of your teammates a little bit. But one thing that the players and the coaches have told me is that you tell them the time that you're going to show up, and then you're constantly early. You show up sometimes 30 minutes or an hour before that time. How obsessive are you about working to get better at baseball?
Obsessive is a good word. I think I just like it. I think I enjoy what everyone calls the grind. Like, I hit on the showing up early. I think my parents instilled that in me. I don't know when that happened, but I feel like I've always been like that, where I'm almost scared to be late. Actually, I was late one time in college, and then I had to do like an hour and a half of conditioning at 4 a.m. With the strength coach. It was like a wood plank, and you had to both hands on the wood plank, and you had to run it 500 yards. And then we had to carry one of those football dummies 200 yards. And then we had to run up and down the stairs of the stadium. So it took like 2.5 hours. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to be late again.
Well, that's exactly why he made you do that. And at 4 a.m. in the morning at Cal Berkeley, I imagine that was quite a chilly morning.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It was raining too.
It's kind of like the weather that we've got tonight in Oconomowoc. It really seems like the weather just doesn't like the DockHaus Dialogue with Dom. Every Wednesday night it seems like the weather's not great, but the forecast seems to be turning around, which is definitely a good thing with the season coming. Opening day, 1 month from today, the DockHounds do open on the road in Chicago, but then 5 weeks from now, May 16th, is going to be the home opener. You look up on Instagram, Robbie Tenerowicz, and you see Birdman, and I see a lot of interesting things on your social media. What's the story behind Birdman? And you've just got such a great personality. What has led you to be open on your social media?
The Birdman story is a really simple one, and it involves one of my teammates when we were, I think he was a sophomore, maybe junior, when I was a freshman, and it involved a couple too many beers and raw Bert, when you're a little intoxicated. Okay. Sounds like Birdman, and then Marlon Byrd got traded to the Giants a couple days later, and then he bought me a Marlon Byrd jersey. So that's how I got the Bird nickname, and Bird with a Y. Okay. All right. That checks out. I was very curious to hear that story, and then I'm not sure if some of the fans can see, but when you shook my hand, I know you've got a hoodie on tonight because it is chilly outside, but you've got a lot of tattoos. What's the meaning behind some of those tattoos? There are none. Okay. I think my mom can confirm this. I think when I was 9 or 10, I just told her, I was like, I'm going to get tattoos. What's the legal age? And she's like, 18, go crazy. I was like, all right, I'll wait. So I worked a bunch of baseball camps, like made money as a young teenager does or whatever. And I think I got my first one before I graduated high school, and then I kind of went nuts after that. I'll figure out what I like, find an artist who can draw it, sit on it for 2 weeks, and then just get it done. There you go. Yeah, I'm looking forward to expanding into some of my tattoos. All I have is this pathetic wave on my left shoulder, and hoping that I can
expand into it a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about your baseball career. You've gotten the pleasure to play in 4 different major league organizations. Originally drafted to the Tampa Bay Rays after your time at Berkeley, signed with the Reds after the pandemic, then with the Seattle Mariners, and most recently the San Diego Padres this past season. How cool is it to get different perspectives from different coaches so that way you can amend what you like to get the best results on the field?
It's cool. I think it's more fun to see how 4 different businesses are run, and the good and the bad. Every organization's going to have good and bad things, but I think it makes you a better teammate, person, baseball player when you can learn from the good ones, and I guess learn from the bad ones as well, and like move forward. And I guess the best way to put it is just learn from your mistakes and others' mistakes. And I think that's the cool part about the 4 organizations I've been with. They've been very open, where if I mess up, it's like, hey, I'm sorry. They're cool with it. Don't happen again. And if very rarely a coach ever had to apologize to me, which might have happened twice, they do it. It's no harm, no foul, and then we move on, and everyone's better for it. So I've been lucky to be with good people, good coaches, good teammates. I haven't really had a bad teammate or coach yet, so I'm probably pretty lucky with that.
And you grew up in the Tampa Bay Rays organization. That was where you spent pre-pandemic, and that was the time where they were really starting to turn out some good prospects. What was it like coming up and learning professional baseball with the Rays?
The best. The infield coordinator, Jim Hoff, was the reason I could play infield at a professional level. I'm talking about just like attention to detail every day, 8 a.m. early work, ground balls, game, late work. He was there with late round picks like me all the way up to Longoria and treated everybody the same. Just, we're going to put in the work, we're going to do it the right way, we're going to show up on time. There you go.
All right.
And we're going to work hard. And he kind of set a precedent as an older guy to where if he's going to show up, he's going to ride his bike to the field, show up early, everybody else just followed suit. Like, he set a great precedent for the entire organization. They all did, top to bottom. So I really liked coming up with Tampa.
Thank you to some of the fans who have just started to roll in at Wisconsin Brewing Company Park tonight. We're talking to Robbie Tenerowicz, one of the hitters, corner infielders, potentially a catcher for this upcoming DockHounds team. But we mentioned you played in 4 different major league organizations, which means that you were unfortunately released a couple of times, but you were able to find landing spots going forward and keep the ball rolling per se. How were you able to rebound and keep things going for yourself?
It's not as traumatic of a feeling as you might think when you get released. I think if you get released and plan on retiring, it would stink. But for me, I just went right back to driveline and trained and got ready for the next opportunity and made sure that everyone knew I didn't take any days off and got right back into it. So it wasn't as bad. It sucked in the day.
Sure.
But moving forward, I always trained and hoped for another opportunity, so that's how I saw it.
How has driveline helped you? I see you working with the driveline bats and the cages from time to time when I want to get away from my desk for a little bit. How has driveline helped you as a hitter?
Helped is an understatement. I wouldn't be playing baseball if it wasn't for driveline. I know there's a lot of personalities on Twitter and stuff like that, but what they do there is the best. It's not hit the ball in the air as hard as you can like people like to think it is. It's, for a guy like me, it was, hey, my swing stinks, my approach stinks. Here's the keys to it. Let's go to work. So we talked about a flat bat path, a 2-strike approach, zones I should look for, zones I should avoid in my hitting, strength program, obviously bat speed, left-handed breaking balls, right-handed breaking balls. They just take everything in and gamify it and try and figure out the best game plan for you. That's actually where I started my hit-by-pitch journey.
Okay.
Was I consistently walked at like a 8 to 9% clip, which is a little below average, but with the hit-by-pitches, count the same as a walk. If you add 40 a year, that bumps my walk percentage to like 16%, 20%, which is above average. So just stuff like that, little ins and outs of the game along with the swing mechanics.
And so what's different about you as opposed to some of the other players that we've been able to talk to on DockHaus Dialogue with Dom is that I haven't gotten the chance to watch you go out and play 100 games a year. So I don't know everything that you do, but are you a guy that gets up close on the plate and, wants to get hit? And is that something that you try and put into the pitcher's mind? Because some of the pitchers in this league, they don't have the greatest mindset. That's why they're here. Is that something that you try and get in the pitcher's head and really just try and be an imposing figure who's right up on home plate?
I don't try and get in their head. No, they're doing their thing. I'm letting them, rock and do whatever they want to do. But I think at this point, they know I'm going to stand on the chalk. And if they throw one at me, it doesn't matter if it's 102 or 103. Like, I'm just going to run to first. Mm-hmm. I guess if there's some type of intimidation factor there, then sure. I just don't care. It just doesn't hurt that bad. I kind of like it. It helps the team out, fires me up. So it's a win-win. I like getting hit, and if I get hit, our team does better.
Robbie Tenerowicz is a huge team guy. I think when you look at this roster, you're definitely going to have to be a leader when you look at the experience that you have compared to some of the players that are currently on the DockHounds. How do you want to be a leader, or are you just going to go out there, put your work in, kind of like what other players and coaches have done for you in your past and lead by example?
I think now that I'm one of the older guys, I'm probably gonna treat it like some of the older guys when I was in AAA with Tacoma, with Seattle. I had some amazing older teammates that were up and down, end of the career, 33 to 36, right? So they knew they were getting close. Tommy Malone, Marcus Walden, and Adam Engel were three of the ones that stick out right away as I'm nervous in front of the camera. But those guys just told me to be myself every day. If I had a question, their response was, be yourself. If it feels like the right thing to do, let it rip. And so I'm not going to give any speeches or pump up stories or anything like that, but I think if I could just help the young kids be a little less nervous every day, that's how I could be a leader. If I have to make adjustments off that, then sure, I'll adjust. But I think the more fun you can have on the field, the better you're going to play, so that's what I'll be going for.
100%. You can have fun in the camera, too. There's nothing to be nervous about.
Just a little nervous.
Yeah, no, nothing to be nervous about. And I know that Demetrius Sims has been kind of that guy for the DockHounds the last 2 seasons. Excited to have him back. And you've been able to work with him a little bit in the cages. Is there anything you've gotten to learn about Demetrius or see about Demetrius that has stuck out to you?
He's a good dad. And I always knew he raked, too. So I guess it confirmed my first impression of him when we played against each other, that he rakes and the guy's a good ball player.
I'd say he's an even better fielder, which I know you haven't gotten the chance to fully see given the conditions here in Ocon. But, yeah, no, it's been really cool to watch him transform now that he is a father this offseason. And then Ray Zuber III is one of the other position players you've gotten to work with. He's younger than you two, especially in his professional baseball journey, but is coming off of his best season. Just got here. Is there anything you've noticed about him?
Sweet lefty swing. We haven't hit together as much as I have with Sims or Aaron Hill, but it's such a nice lefty swing. Can't wait to see it on the field.
Yeah, and then Aaron Hill, he hasn't been here as much just because he also lives a little further away like you do, while the two of them, Ray and Meach, are in Ocon. But you and Aaron have definitely gotten some work in together. He's a player that some DockHound fans may remember from 2023 when he was with the Milkmen, who, if you watched on social media, we know that Robbie is already not a fan of Milwaukee, which is a good stepping stone. But Aaron Hill.
The Milkmen. I love Milwaukee. Not a fan of the Milkmen. Just
yes.
want to clarify for anybody.
Yeah, no, I was referring to them as Milwaukee. I shouldn't have done that. But Aaron Hill, I mean, he's going to be another guy in the lineup, like you, veteran right-handed hitter. What have you seen from him, too?
Stud. I've been with him, been training with him for the last 4 or 5 months now. And to be able to see something like that, just, I don't want to call it transformation, but just improvement of, like, bat to ball, exit velo, speed, strength. I mean, we're there every day lifting and running and training for 2 hours, and then we drive on up here, drive over to Delta in Glendale, hit for another 2 hours. So we're 4 hours a day locked in and training. So if there's anybody who's ready for the season, it's me and Aaron.
And I think there's a common misconception that's absolutely wrong, that some of these players, they just kind of roll into the season in the spring, the off season, they just get to live it up and not have to worry about anything. But clearly that's not true. Just how hard are you working in the off season so that way once you get to the season, it's more about staying prepared and focusing on the games?
I think everybody works hard. I don't think you can play any level of professional baseball without doing a good amount of training in the off season. So I don't think it separates anybody. I just think you get weeded out if you don't do anything in the off season. I think that's where the difference is.
For sure.
Everybody's training now.
And for you, you've started to work on maybe transitioning into doing some catching for the Lake Country DockHounds. What spurred that?
Tom came to me with the idea, and Jack about it. I think it's probably just a good tool to add for me. I'm a young 30.
Yes.
So I think if I could have a good season here, go down to Winter League, play another 60 games, get like 160 games under my belt this year, put up some good hitting stats, and show that I can catch, I think that'll give me a good opportunity to get back to AAA or some overseas gigs too.
Was that something that originally you were excited about, you were immediately on board, or was that something that you kind of had to sleep on and be like...
It was like 2 seconds. I was like, yes, please, sign me up.
How'd you go about getting like your catcher's gear? Did you have any catcher's gear? What was that like?
The DockHounds have gear.
Okay.
And I'm using Stevie's gloves, so...
You've gotten to work a lot with Stevie in addition to your hitting. What has that been like?
It's fun. He puts in the work just like I want. We're there for about an hour 30, hour 45 every day, Monday through Saturday, so... We're putting in the time needed to get me to catch in a game. We'll find out a lot more once we play some spring training games.
For sure.
And some of those inter-squads against King County, I think. So we'll see where I'm at that point. But for now, the training's going good. No complaints. Body feels good. So everything's been smooth, with normal ups and downs of learning a new position.
For sure. What's the thing that you've learned most about catching? Or maybe something that surprised you the most?
The throwing.
Okay.
It's like a different throwing motion. When you play infield, even third base, I can kind of just like let my normal arm action take over. You got to be, pretty accurate. But when you play infield your whole life, just throw a certain way. But as a catcher, you got to backspin it. And I got a little two-seam on my ball from third base. So
sure.
I got to get some extra four-seam on it now. So that's been the toughest part so far.
I definitely don't miss my catching days back when I was like 10 years old. I quickly got weeded out. Maybe it's because I didn't put the work in like you were just mentioning, but I definitely don't miss that. Our white hoodies are all white-out hoodies. They actually came in today. Wanted to advertise it a little bit. So you can get them in addition to your ticket for opening weekend as we unveiled this new jersey. If you are a season ticket holder with the DockHounds, which I know many people are who come to these events or watch on YouTube. So that's great. It goes along with that. If you're a season ticket holder, you can add on to it and just buy it. But if you're a DockHounds fan, you want this cool hoodie, go to DockHounds.com. We've got the information on there in our promotional tickets. You can go to single game tickets, find it as well. I think it looks great.
Yeah, you look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You do as well, even without the Hounds hoodie.
Shout out Dingbat in Verona. I'll be swinging their bats this year, so giving hoodie shout outs. You're going to get a wood bat.
Absolutely. And then you've also gotten to work with Huck a little bit because he came in and he just arrived to Ocon from Arizona this off season. How good was it to reunite with Huck after you only got to see him for a little bit last season?
It was good to meet him again for the second time is what it felt like. I didn't really talk to anybody too much my first 12 hours here, but I'm pumped to pick his brain. I think what I'm most looking forward to is the game planning before, like how to pitch certain hitters, how to pitch the pitcher's strengths, when to call a pitch because you want to call a slider 2 pitches later, like the game plan stuff. That's what I'm most excited about, like the half hour before every single game, going over it and how we're going to win the game.
Is that stuff that you had ever thought about while you were playing infield at any level?
Oh, yeah. When I'm at first base, I think most of the time I'm back there like, what are we doing? We should call this pitch. So now I'll get to prove it or prove that I was being dumb back then.
Well, yeah, you get to put your money where your mouth is now. And when you were playing first base, because I know that's predominantly what you've done over the last couple of seasons, are you a talkative first baseman, someone who's chatting with the opposing first base coach and the opposing runner, or are you a guy who's locked in and you're just absolutely focusing on trying to help your team out the most?
Nah, I'm not too chatty. Usually I'll just say what's up, and then if they're being lazy on the bases, what I'll do is I'll talk to I'll give away my secret, whatever. I'll talk to the first base coach, and I'll try and distract him. And if I call a back pick, I'll talk to the base runner. I'll be like, hey, you see that over there behind the third base, whatever, whether it's someone fell or something like that, call the back pick, and then we'll get a free out. So if I'm talking to you at first, if anybody's watching this on another team, I'm messing with you. I'm trying to get you out. So I don't mean well when I say hello. I'm trying to fool you.
I would be very surprised if someone from like the Chicago Dogs or the Milkmen are watching this, but if they are, thank you for your support of DockHounds baseball.
Yeah, and if I get you after you watch this, bad.
Yeah, it's a tough scene if that happens for sure. And you said something that stuck out to me a couple of weeks ago, is that it's different for you to not be playing right now because it's April. Minor league seasons have started at all levels. The Major League Baseball has been going on for nearly 2 weeks now. How much does it drive you knowing that you're not playing yet, even though you will be playing in less than a month, to succeed with the DockHounds this season?
You know, I thought it was going to bother me a lot, but it hasn't really affected me. I know I'm going to play. We have a schedule. We have an opening day, so it's frustrating, but not as much as I thought. I think with my plan to play 100 here and then 60 more in winter, I think having a plan helps a lot.
And more of your teammates are actually going to start showing up over the coming weeks, and that'll probably help. And does it feel real? Does it feel like it's getting closer for you?
No.
No? Fair enough.
Until we have a practice, then it'll feel real.
Well, that's the final week of April, and I'm certainly counting down the days until that happens. Do you have any goals for this upcoming season? Obviously, you want to play 100 and then be able to parlay that into a Winter League opportunity, but what do you have to do, team or stat-wise, to get that done?
No stat goals. I think have fun, play 100 games, which would mean prepare my body every day, take care of my body, stuff like that, and then whatever to help the team win, like little goals throughout the day. Like, can I get an extra 90 on a dirt ball read? Am I locked in enough to do that? If I'm catching and it's the 8th inning, right, and we're up 3 maybe, am I still focused enough to go on a dirt ball read and make that a 3-0 lead, a 4-0 lead, give us an insurance run, stuff like that. Those are like it's a smaller goal, but I think if you just stack up smaller goals, then the big ones take care of themselves.
For sure. What are you most excited for this upcoming season? Because indie ball, it's a new avenue for you. You've played internationally. You've played at all levels in the minor leagues. You've played in some big league camps. But what are you most excited for in this season that's in a new chapter of your baseball career?
That I get to spend more time with my wife.
Okay. That's a great answer.
Non-baseball
That's
stuff.
probably the best answer you've had all night.
No, that's all I got. That's
okay,
about it.
Fair enough. And then just being able to be out here in Milwaukee. I mean, you said you love it out here. What's the thing you love most about? Have you been able to spend the summer out here?
No, not yet. This will be the first one. The best part is everything is 20 minutes away. Seattle, San Francisco, other places I've lived, San Antonio, it's at least 20 minutes to get everywhere. So I can get from South Milwaukee all the way up to Glendale in 15 minutes, which in a different city would take like 45. My answers are kind of like old dude answers, which is totally fine, but
no.
You know what I mean? Like the weather, or like the grass is nice, stuff like that.
It's perfectly fine. I mean, I think that a lot of our fans are able to resonate with that. We're talking to Robbie Tenerowicz. Thank you so much again for joining me tonight. Is there anything that you want to leave our fans with who have shown up tonight or that are watching on YouTube?
No, I think I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to play hard. I'm going to slide a lot. I guess I'll get turf dirty. I was going to say I'll get dirty, but we're on turf, so no. But if you're in the first row and there's no net, watch out, because I might be diving in for a fly ball, stuff like that. I'm trying to win. Like as a baseball player, obviously my goal is to sign and get back to AAA and get another big league opportunity. But if I play like that, I'll play crappy. If I worry about the late Country DockHounds on my chest and do winning plays, I'll have more fun. The fans will like it, and so that's what I want to show. And I guess I have an opportunity to say it now. So anything I do is to win a ball game. It'll never be a selfish reason.
I think that's exactly what our fans want to hear, and I speak for all of them and everybody in the organization that we're very excited that you are still a DockHound, and we are very excited to watch you play this season. And we have high expectations, but for good reason, and we can't wait to watch you go out there and play and represent this organization. Robbie Tenerowicz, everyone.
Thank you.